What's up, guys? Welcome to a new day. I'm Stephanie Ryder, and this is the 365 Shares podcast. It's March 3rd, and today's topic is Step 3. Step 3 in the Adult Children of Alcoholics and Other Dysfunctional Families program is made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood God. A lot of people have a hard time with the concept of a higher power, either because it doesn't seem realistic to them, because they grew up as atheists, or because they grew up in religious families, but that were very strict and potentially abusive, so they have a negative connotation with religion. And a lot of people do struggle to come to their idea of a higher power. Because this is such a difficult topic, instead of paraphrasing, I'm going to read a passage from the Big Red Book that's in italics, which means somebody shared it and contributed it to the book. This passage is on page 138 of the Big Red Book, and it's called Let Go, Let God. Defining God as I understood God took a long time. I didn't believe in a benevolent God. I did believe that everything that could go wrong would go wrong. I know it is unrealistic to think the worst would always happen, but it seemed to happen for me. To recover from my own negativity, I came to ACA. I tried to believe everything wasn't my responsibility. I tried to believe that whatever was going to happen in my life was controlled by some God. This was difficult. I always assumed I was wrong in whatever situation arose. I haven't completely given up all my control yet. When I encounter obstacles now, I remind myself to let go and let God. Eventually, by working the steps, I turned my will and life completely over to God as I understand God. My life is, coincidentally, working better. Today, when I am acting compulsively, I take a breather from that activity to moderate my behavior. Sometimes I have to say aloud, I'm turning this over to God. Today, I believe in a force some people call God. This force makes certain that what is supposed to happen does happen. I am letting go of control more easily. I'm Steph, and this is my share. In general, I think everything happens for a reason. I also try to think about what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. called the arc of justice. Dr. King famously said that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. And I think what he meant was that sometimes it takes a long time for the right thing to happen, but eventually it does happen. That's been really hard for me to accept in my life. I think of everything in my life that I've struggled with, my number one internal struggle is a lack of patience when things take longer than what I want them to take. It's so easy in our culture to get wrapped up in getting what we want now. Everything is at our fingertips with the internet. We have unlimited distractions. We want what we want when we want it. And there are a lot of things that we can have immediately, but there are things that we can't. And of the things in my life that I've wanted, whether it's a stable romantic partnership, whether it's starting a family, whether it's people who have wronged me realizing the error of their ways, or whether it's witnessing growth in myself so that I break old dysfunctional patterns of my own, these things take a long time. But I never lose my faith that the right thing will happen. And I think a lot about things in terms of movie paradigms. And I had a situation with someone last year that didn't go the way that I wanted to. And I was thinking about the situation in terms of me being the hero of the story and this other person being the bad guy. And I just kept thinking they're going to get what's coming to them. They're going to get what's coming to them because that's what happens in movies. And if it hasn't happened yet, I just have to wait longer. But I went and saw Dune Part 2 with a girlfriend and some other friends last night. And it really sort of changed my view. I think what I was thinking of in terms of this situation that I had where I felt very wronged, that it was going to be like one of those movies that's an hour and 45 minutes long where everything gets wrapped up with a nice bow in the end. The two main characters end up together, and then anyone who is mean to them ends up getting pushed into a lake. And I was sort of waiting for that like cutesy rom-com ending to this unresolved situation that I had with someone in my life. But seeing Dune, which is part 2 of who knows how many movies they're going to make of this long book series, really reminded me that not everything in our lives is a rom-com. It would be great if everything was wrapped up with a nice neat bow in the end in an hour and 45 minutes, but that's not how things work. Sometimes we're on an epic journey and people have to make hard choices. And sometimes the choice that someone makes that hurts you isn't being made to hurt you. is being made because they are also the star of their own story. And it's not only the right decision for them, but maybe it's the right decision for the world and some big picture that we can't see yet. So I really tried to reframe this experience not as me being good and this other person being bad, but me being good and this other person being good. And the world is a tough place where we have to make hard choices for the good of what we think is everyone involved. And we just have to wait and see what pans out. And we just have to hope and have faith that things are going to turn out the way that we wanted them to, and that the people that we love are going to be happy in the end. But there's not really an end because it just keeps continuing and it passes on from generation to generation. So all we are is actors playing a small role in a small part of our generational stories. We're doing our best. We're doing our work. We make mistakes. We make missteps. But if we act with faith and we act with love and we do our best, that's all that we can do. So today I'm just trying to remind myself to have faith in the bigger picture. I know that I can't see the whole story. In the movie, some of the characters are able to see everything that's happened in the past and then everything that is going to happen in the future. We don't have that ability, unfortunately, as humans. So we just have to have faith that what we're doing in the moment is the best possible choice. We have to do the next right thing. We have to take it one day at a time, and we have to give it up to God.